For decades, governments told us UFOs were swamp gas, weather balloons, mass hysteria. Then, in 2026, the United States government released thousands of pages of classified documents, the largest official disclosure of unidentified aerial phenomena in history. And buried inside those files, hidden in technical language and heavily redacted pages, are secrets that contradict everything the government has said for 80 years. Here are 10 things hidden inside Trump's declassified UFO files that they hoped you wouldn't notice. The files confirm that the U.S. military has been tracking UFOs continuously since 1947, not investigating occasional reports but maintaining a permanent classified surveillance program with dedicated personnel, dedicated budgets, and dedicated intelligence infrastructure. The program was never disclosed to Congress. Multiple secretaries of defense were reportedly kept unaware of its full scope. The files reference internal designations for the program dating back to Truman. Whatever was being tracked for nearly 80 years, the files make clear that someone at the highest levels of government knew and chose silence. 17 incidents in the declassified files describe objects performing what military analysts call transmedium travel, the ability to move seamlessly between air, water, and space without transition. One incident from 2004, corroborated by multiple Navy pilots and radar operators aboard the USS Nimitz, describes an object dropping from 80,000 feet to sea level in less than a second, then disappearing beneath the ocean surface. No deceleration, no splash. The files classify these incidents as unexplained and note that no known human technology can replicate the observed physics. The files contain a section designated ORCON, originator controlled, meaning even congressmen cleared for classified intelligence could not see its contents without specific authorization from an unnamed originating agency. Researchers who obtained the surrounding documents noted that the ORCON sections consistently appear whenever the files discuss recovered materials. The word materials appears 847 times in the released files. Analysis of recovered materials appears 23 times. The materials themselves, what they are, where they are stored, and what analysis found, remain classified beyond the level of the released documents. A series of incidents between 2014 and 2016 off the U.S. East Coast are described in the files with unusual specificity. U.S. Navy pilots encountered objects daily for months. Objects that appeared on radar were confirmed by FLIR thermal cameras and were witnessed by dozens of trained military personnel. The objects demonstrated controlled flight, intelligent response to military aircraft, and speeds exceeding Mach 5 without any visible propulsion. The files note that the incidents were reported through proper military channels, and that no official investigation was opened for over 2 years. Someone decided these incidents should not be investigated. The declassified files reference a program called AAWSAP, Advanced Aerospace Weapons System Applications Program, that ran from 2007 to 2012 with a $22 million budget. AAWSAP investigated not just aerial phenomena, but what investigators described as associated phenomena, including events on the ground connected to UAP sightings. The Skinwalker Ranch in Utah received specific attention. Investigators reported equipment failures, anomalous biological effects on personnel, and events they described as defying conventional explanation. The findings of AAWSAP were classified. The scientists who conducted the investigations have reported that their most significant findings were never included in any publicly released document. The files contain testimony from a credentialed intelligence official who states under oath that he was briefed on a program involving non-human intelligence. The exact language used is extraordinary. Non-human intelligence of unknown origin has demonstrated awareness of an interaction with U.S. military assets. The testimony is heavily redacted after this statement. The official's identity is withheld. The program he references is not named. The date of the briefing is classified. But the statement itself, that something non-human has deliberately interacted with U.S. military technology, is now in a declassified government document. 3 separate incidents in the files describe military aircraft experiencing complete electronic failure in proximity to UFOs. In each case, engines restarted spontaneously when the object departed. In one incident, classified for 40 years before release. A nuclear weapons control panel aboard a U.S. Air Force base registered a complete shutdown while a UFO was observed directly overhead. The base commander's report, included in the files, states that the shutdown was technologically impossible, given the redundant systems in place. No malfunction was ever identified. The incident was classified immediately. It remained classified for 4 decades. The files contain a document dated 1947, the year of the Roswell incident, that references non-terrestrial materials recovered in New Mexico. The document is signed by a military official whose name has been redacted. It references a recovery operation and the transport of materials and associated matter to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. The document does not use the word UFO. It does not describe what the materials are, but it confirms that something physical was recovered, transported, and classified at the highest level in the same year, in the same location as the most famous UFO incident in history. Perhaps most extraordinary, the files contain a series of communications between senior government officials debating not whether UAPs are real, that debate appears settled in the internal documents, but whether the public can handle being told the truth. One memo, dated 2019, discusses the social stability implications of full-spectrum disclosure. Another references the management of public perception as a primary objective of UAP policy. The files reveal that the question being asked inside the government is not what are these things, but how much can we tell the public without causing panic? The answer evidently has been, not much. Buried in the final pages of the released documents is a reference to a program that has never been publicly named. Its budget is listed as not applicable to standard appropriations process, meaning it is funded through channels that do not appear in any congressional budget. Its personnel are described as detached from standard chain of command. Its location is not listed. Its mission is described only as legacy recovery and analysis. It has been operating, according to the document, since 1953. Whatever this program has recovered, analyzed, and concluded in 70 years of classified operation, it was not included in the released files. It may never be. These files were released, but the most important documents, the ones describing what was recovered, what was found, and what conclusions were reached, remain classified. What you've just seen is what they chose to let you know. The question that should haunt every one of us is, what did they choose to keep hidden? Subscribe to Forbidden Files, because the disclosure is just beginning and will be here when the next files drop.